Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at lulu.com today. I was watching a video a couple of days ago from Professor of Black Truth where he talked about breaking the boycott against black-owned businesses. And as a black business owner, this video was intriguing to me because I know all about the boycott of black-owned businesses by black people. Now, this boycott of black-owned businesses by black people is something that isn't physical. No, it is something psychological, and it's psychological because many black folks are spellbound to believe the concept that the white man's ice is colder. And this concept has them believing that a product that is sold by a white or a non-black is superior in quality to a product made by a black creator like myself, and that they need to go out here and support the white or the non-black product or business, because if they support that business, they are going to get some sort of quality as related to that product that they would not get from a black-owned business. Now, this whole frame of thinking hurts black communities because it's this frame of thinking that leads to $3.3 trillion in cash and credit leaving the black community and never coming back. Now, in white and non-black communities, a dollar is turned over in that community at least 2 to 3 times, or even 6 to 7 times in certain communities. But in the black community, it is turned over to your white supermarkets, Hispanic bodegas, Indian-owned fast food restaurants, Korean hair and nail salons, Arab corner grocery stores and smoke shops, and even Dominican hair salons and barber shops, and 97% of that money leaves the black community, and 97% of that money never comes back to the black community. And sadly, this is the reason why, even though the black community has $3.3 trillion in cash and credit, not the entire black community is remaining in poverty. And after the 97% of money leaves the black community, the remaining 3% winds up going to black churches, and that means 100% of black dollars leave the black community, and this is why the black community remains in poverty and remains in a place where black people cannot get empowerment from their own money. And again, it's all because we go out and try and participate in this psychological boycott of black-owned businesses that prevents black business owners from physically being able to go out here and empower black people. Because as a black business owner, one of the things I want to do is go out here and empower black people by trying to find people to work on different projects, like my last project, which was the John Haynes at Death's Door comic. I want to go out here and find black artists to do things like covers like I do for the John Haynes series, and I want to go out here and hire black people. But sadly, one of the things that impedes me from being able to do that is the lack of support from brothers and sisters out here. A lot of black folks, what they don't understand is that if for a black-owned business to remain operational, a black-owned business needs support. And sadly, in black communities, we have a lot of black people who go out here and they resist supporting a black-owned business because, again, one, they believe that the white man's ice is colder, and the same product that was created by a black man is not as good as that as sold in a white store. And they believe that since they're buying this brand name and getting the clout of supporting the white-owned business, they believe that this is going to improve their quality of social life. not understanding how this is impeding their economic life. Because when you buy a product from a black-owned business, in a lot of cases like mine, what I do is I go out here and try to reinvest that money, if I can, in qualified brothers and sisters, and try to make a way to try to flip that money by trying to flip it to other black people. This is what I did back in 2018 when O'Shea Duke Jackson had asked me to do some articles for his Negro Manosphere website. I took the money from those articles, gave it to a black artist who did the cover for my book, The Legendary Mad Matilda, and that's how I took money and flipped it in the black community 3 times. And again, that's the type of group economics that black-owned businesses do, because when we go out here and we work on building our business, a lot of times black business owners like myself, we look to empower other black people by providing them with employment. And this is why we have to go out here and break the mental boycott against black-owned businesses, because this mental boycott is preventing us from gaining economic empowerment, because every time you spend a dollar with a white or a non-black business, all you are doing is taking money out of your community, and all you are doing is enriching other communities which live middle class to upper middle class lifestyles on the black dollar. This is why many of those people who run the supermarkets, the bodegas, the fast food restaurants, the Chinese restaurants, the hair and nail salons, and barbershops can send their kids to private schools, while most of the black folks who work at their jobs send their kids to public schools, where they get subpar service and they get a subpar education. You get this because you don't invest in black-owned businesses, which can go out here and use their economic power to get political power to ensure that your public schools get the quality services and your neighborhoods have a better quality of life, because black business owners are the ones who are going to demand a better quality of life for everyone. And sadly, many black people can't connect the dots as related to economic empowerment. No, many black people sadly are still spellbound, still believing that the white man's ice is colder. And this is why we have to break this boycott against black businesses, because black-owned businesses are one of the core components of black empowerment. And when there are a base of strong black businesses, that's how you go out here and build a stronger black community with a higher quality of life, because that's how many other communities go out here and get empowered. Many of these communities outside of the black community, they have a standard for their community, and again, that standard is sponsored by the businesses in that community. It is the businesses in that community that go out here and use their wealth and economic resources to provide a higher quality of life. And black people could have the same thing, but we have to break the boycott against black-owned businesses and the whole attitude and negative perception of black-owned businesses. Because, again, it's the black-owned businesses that go out here and hire other black people, because that's what I've been doing here at SJS Direct over the last couple of years. I have been actively looking for black people to hire on certain projects. I mean, I hire a black artist to do my covers for the John Haynes series, and I recently commissioned another black artist to do some pinups for me. So I was out here looking to hire black people to keep black dollars in the black community, because I understand the importance of a black-owned business, even one as small as SJS Direct, because a black-owned business, again, is all about making sure that black dollars stay in black hands, because when black dollars stay in black hands, black communities get stronger, and they get even stronger than that when black people are out here hiring other black people and going out here and further looking to build the business. Now, in addition to hiring black people, we go out here and look to provide people with products and services, and that's something I do on the SJS Direct imprint. I look to provide black people with stories that they will not get in the mainstream media. And this black-owned business looks to try to create positive images of black people and give you rich, diverse stories about the black experience, something you will not get with mainstream trade publishers, which look to promote anti-black racism in between the pages of their books. In their books, all you get is the same old stories about either street thugs, big violent black brutes, or you get the story of the single successful, well-educated black woman who can't get a man. And there's more to our lives than what is presented in those stories, and that's why I went out and put my fingers to the keyboard for many of my fiction books to show you a larger picture of the black world. And again, that's something you see over at SJS Direct as related to my black-owned business, which is looking to empower you by opening up your minds to see a richer picture of the black world, whether it be in stories about black goths, stories about black sororities, stories about black-owned businesses working together, or even stories about black actresses in Hollywood, or black fantasy or black science fiction. My goal as a publisher is to open up your mind so that you can see a larger picture. Moreover, as I do my men's and women's issues books, my goal is also to help you get a better understanding of why things are out here and try to help black men improve their quality of life with my men's issues books, and try to get sisters to understand why they are single and why this is a war being waged on black women. So I try to give people, again, a lot of different types of books that you would not get from the mainstream. And again, I do this, and I've been persevering for years, and I've been fighting against this boycott against black-owned businesses, and I know full well about the struggles of a black-owned business because I deal with those struggles basically every day. And as I deal with those struggles every day, I know how hard it is to get a black-owned business operating, and it's hard to keep a black-owned business operating because many times black people really don't understand how important it is to continue supporting a black-owned business. Now, some people will sit there and believe that because they have bought from a black-owned business in the past, that business is going to stay operational. However, it's continued and ongoing support that keeps a black-owned business going, and without continued ongoing support, a black-owned business cannot stay here to serve you and provide you with the support that you need. This is something many black people just don't understand. They don't really understand that you have to continuously support a black-owned business the same way you continuously go out here to places like Target or Walmart to go out continue buying from them. You have to go out here and continue to support that black-owned business so that they can continue to go out here and provide you with quality products and services, because in order for me to go out here and be able to provide people with positive black fiction and nonfiction, I need to see the sales. And that's something I haven't seen over the last couple of months. I mean, I've had a really extremely slow period, and that slow period is one of the things that many black businesses that can just put them on the brink, because what happens is that people start doing things like taking a black-owned business for granted. And again, this is one mistake that a lot of black folks make. Another mistake that we make is going out here and getting in our feelings about something a black business owner has possibly allegedly done to them that is offensive. And instead of taking that business owner to the side and talking to them about things like customer service or talking about the quality of the product to help try to facilitate a better relationship with that business. What many people do is get emotional and say, I'll never shop at that black owned business. However, if that Chinese restaurant goes out here and burns their food, or that Indian owned fast food restaurant goes out here and doesn't put things in their order, these black people will be back to those businesses. But the black owned business, what they will do is go out here and say, I'll never shop at that business. Meanwhile, other businesses in the black community, they will go out here and support those businesses, even though those businesses actively participate in anti-black behaviors like racial profiling or going out here and disrespecting black people. And this is really troubling again because it shows how people will tolerate abuse from these white and non-black businesses, but won't actively work with a black-owned business towards trying to improve the quality of those products or trying to work with them, trying to improve things, because what we want to do is, again, continue to serve the black community. We want to continue serving the black community and providing them, brothers and sisters, with quality products. That's what we want to do. But many black people, they'll get emotional and look to go out here and actively boycott someone, all because they get in their feelings about that, what that black person has done or said. They will get that upset, like what I experienced in 2019 with the whole passport thing. I mean, black people ran fast to go out here and walk away from my Patreon. And again, that was troubling to me because they ran quick to go out here and pull away support, but they would go out here and support a Just Pearly, who is basically was collaborating with a white supremacist, Nick Fuentes. And again, this relates to the black business boycott, because we go out here and we in the black community and support those who disrespect us, and go out here and try to walk away from those who empower us, all because we have issues with those black people. And again, that's not how we can empower ourselves, because the black business owners who want to empower you, you are going to have disagreements in some cases. You may have issues, but you have to work with those black people because those black people want to work with you. And that is how we break the black business boycott. Again, we've got to get our minds right. And we have to get our minds right, because if we don't get our minds right and focus on our economic situation, then black people are going to wind up continuously remaining in poverty. This is something that I have seen, again, as my experience as a black business owner who has been in business for a long time. Again, as a black business owner, I look at things, and again, I listened to Professor Black Truth's video on us breaking this boycott. And again, in order for us to break this boycott as related to black-owned businesses, we got to get our minds in the right place as related to our money. Because if your mind isn't in the right place as related to your money, then you're not going to invest that money in people who are going to invest in you. No, what you're going to do is what many black people have done for years: invest in a covert contract hoping to get social currency with whites and non-blacks. And as you try to invest in that covert contract to get social currency with whites and non-blacks, what you do is throw away your economic base, throw away your base for developing and building economic wealth, and destroy your chance at a quality of life, trying to get white acceptance from those from the dominant in society. And as you try to gain that acceptance, they lose respect for you. And they lose respect for you because you don't go out here and value yourself to put yourself first economically, or put your own economic interest first. Because when you put your economic interest first and put yourself first, what that does is show that you have a sense of self-worth and a sense of self-esteem. And this is something that black people have to focus on, again, as related to breaking this boycott of black-owned businesses, because if we don't economically empower ourselves, then we can't take political power. And if we don't build up our economic power base, then there's no way we can go out here and develop a structure that allows us to gain control in our communities. So we need to support our black-owned businesses, because again, it's sad that we put ourselves last, because by putting ourselves last, 3.3 trillion in cash and credit flows out of our community and keeps our community in a state of poverty. And again, black businesses like mine, SJS Direct, I want to go out here and again expand my business. I want to expand my business. I want it to grow. I want to be able to go out here and provide black customers with more positive black fiction and nonfiction. And I'd love to further expand into going out here and publishing more black comic books. I would love to go out here and provide a richer, more diverse catalog than I'm producing right now. And again, one of the things that prevents me from doing that is having the capital to go out here and be able to raise the funds to pay people as related to these projects. Again, that's one of the things I want to do as a black business owner. And when I watched Professor Black Truth's video, it really resonated with me, because as a black business owner, I want to go out here and build. And again, I want to go out here and expand the business and make it grow. And that's what I want to do as a business owner. Again, but the whole thing is that it's hard to continue to get support, because a lot of times you still have people with this mindset of the white man's ice being colder, and we've got to break that mindset as related to our community. We've got to break that mindset of somebody else's stuff is better than ours, and learn to appreciate and value those in the black community, the brothers and sisters looking to go out here and build a better quality of life, because it's those brothers and sisters who run the black-owned businesses who are working to improve the quality of life in the black community, and they're the brothers and sisters who we pay the least attention to and invest the least amount of dollars in. And when we do this, we are acting against our own economic interests. Now, if you want to support the SJS Direct imprint, you can pick up the books on the SJS Direct catalog on Amazon.com and other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, Walmart, Target, and Barnes & Noble. And every dollar that you spend on an SJS Direct book is reinvested in talent from the black community when I can find qualified black people, and I invest that money back in brothers and sisters, because I want to go out here and again improve the quality of life for brothers and sisters, and part of that is keeping black dollars in the black community. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App. And again, a lot of that money is reinvested in paying for other projects and paying artists and other people, and being able to further create more quality projects on the SJS Direct imprint. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s in this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Get your copy of John Haynes, 1987 in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.